Am I the a-hole for the decision to kick out my childhood friend and her kids from my home? I, 29F, am getting married in a few months to the love of my life, Jake, 32M. Planning the wedding has been amazing, but one major issue is my older sister, Sarah, 34F. Sarah and I have always had a rocky relationship. She's the golden child in our family and has always been competitive, especially with me. Over the years, Sarah has sabotaged nearly every relationship I've had. In high school, she flirted with my boyfriend so much that he broke up with me and asked her out. She said no, claiming it was for my sake, but the damage was already done. When I introduced her to my first serious boyfriend as an adult, she embarrassed me in front of him by joking about how I still snore like a truck. He later admitted her comments made him question our relationship. When I started dating Jake, I introduced him to Sarah early on, and she immediately pulled her usual stunts. She called him her future brother-in-law in a flirty way, made snide remarks about me, and even told him I wasn't the settled. Am I the a-hole for suggesting my wife divorce me since I won't push adoption on my daughter? I, 33M, have full custody of my 8-year-old daughter, Ella, from a previous relationship. Ella's mother has struggled with addiction and legal troubles and hasn't seen Ella for about a year, despite having court-ordered supervised visits. I married Laura, 30F, 5 years ago, and we have 2 other children together. Laura has been in Ella's life since she was 2 and loves her dearly, but Ella, who is in therapy to deal with her mother's issues, has never called Laura mom. Laura is growing weary of the instability my ex brings every time she reappears, and now she wants to adopt Ella to permanently cut off her biological mother's rights. Laura believes this would protect our family from further disruption and argues it's for the best. However, Ella has made it clear she does not want to be adopted. She still hopes her biological mom will recover and return to her life. I respect Ella's feelings and have decided not to push the adoption, which Laura has not taken well. Laura contends that am I the a-hole for choosing not to go to the funeral at this point? I, 30F, recently lost my grandmother. We hadn't seen each other in person for about 10 years, but we kept in touch occasionally through phone calls, usually facilitated by my dad, with whom I have a strained relationship. My parents separated when I was young, and I initially spent weekends with my dad. That changed when he prioritized his new girlfriend and her children over me, often sidelining my needs and missing important events like my birthdays and school functions. Throughout my life, I've tried to maintain a relationship with him, extending invitations to significant milestones like my high school and college graduations, which he attended with my grandmother. However, our interactions have always been sporadic and somewhat superficial, usually prompted by him wanting to appear involved in front of my grandmother. The last time I spoke with my grandmother was before her surgery when she was hospitalized. She was optimistic about her recovery, but I hesitated to follow up, partly due to my fear of bad news and not wanting to intrude. My dad and I rarely communicate